Hi, my name is Poeartistry. I am excited to welcome you to James Poeartistry Productions. You are tuning into an incredible experience known as Poeartistry Gold, where we delve into the art of commentary, storytelling and poetry. We aim to bring you inspiring and thought-provoking content.
This is a Poeartistry Gold moment by the author James Lynch.
Hello, Perceptive Readers. This is James Lynch, and welcome to Poeartistry Gold number 119. On this Poeartistry Gold moment, I truly feel that this next cast that I mentioned to you, this next show that I share with you, where some of you will be hearing it for the first time in late January, first day of February, and probably as late or early, the way you look at it, early spring. What is this show? What are these cast members that I'm talking about? Well, no matter how many commentaries I give on the subject, and I've mentioned actually less than a handful of times over the commentary career that has already now spanned really, depending on how you look at it, more than one decade, maybe less than 2 decades. But for some persons who have known me longer, they feel that, well, you really seem to have been making commentaries all your life, okay? And yet, with all those commentaries in mind, I still feel that what I've said about this show still just does not give it justice. I truly feel that. And so what can I do? What can I do? In my last podcast before this, the Poeartistry Gold moment, number 118, I even mentioned, what can you give a king? What can you give a queen? And then, I went into adding my other 2 cents, 5 cents, $1 million, $1 trillion thoughts with that. Okay. So this is along that line of thoughts or reasoning here on sometimes all you can do is just express your appreciation, even though, you may still feel your appreciation still doesn't do it justice. So with that being said, in this Poeartistry Gold number 119, I just want to tell you a recommendation that I very rarely make, outside of often the sci-fi shows. This was a family sitcom show, and it was actually called The Cosby Show. And what I want to do is read the cast members, the main cast members, to you. They have a lot of notable recurring guest stars as well. And I thought about reading some of those, but I said, boy, I don't even want to mess up their names. There's a lot of let me just say almost like French sounding names to these cast members and things of that nature. And I don't want to say their name, in any a way at all that you wouldn't get the full meaning to their names, because you look up probably some of their background and history of these persons or these cast members' real names, and boy, that'll give you probably some interesting reading. Where I can guarantee you all the same on some of them, okay, if not all of them, okay. So the Cosby Show, I just want to mention who the main family members were in the cast. And I recommend you to even find the official website for the Cosby Show. They have one even on YouTube, a YouTube channel where you can get skits. Okay? And so let's start with Bill Cosby as Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable, Phylicia Rashad as Claire Huxtable, Sabrina LaRue as Sandra Huxtable, and later was married Thibodeau. Lisa Bonet as Denise Huxtable, and then Kendall. Malcolm Jamal Warner as Theodore Theo Huxtable. Tempest Besso as Vanessa Huxtable. Keisha Knight Pullman as Rudy, or Rudy Huxtable. Jeffrey Owens as Evan Thibodeau, Sandra's husband. Joseph C. Phillips as Lieutenant Martin Kendall, Denise's husband. Raymond Simone as Olivia Kendall, Denise's stepdaughter. And Erica Alexander as Pam Tucker cousin, the cousin of the family. Over the years, I mentioned some funny skits, and I told you less than a handful of them. All the same, if you want to talk about a recommendation for a family sitcom that was filled with comedy, and also, you hear of shows dealing with social issues of the day. The Cosby Show also covered those, but it was not the main focus. If I was to tell you what was the main focus of the Cosby Show, it still, in my view, it still was showing how a family can love one another, stick together, and even in loyalty to one another, still always do the right thing, to always overcome the life problems and situations that come up. And they give a nice little laugh with it, really often a huge laugh with it. So The Cosby Show, it ran from 1984 to 1992, and I still feel sometimes that, man, you just can't do justice for such an excellent show that was created. And I do recommend anybody from around the world to at least watch the first few episodes and see if you would want to even watch the whole more of them or the whole series. Yes, I'm James Lynch. I'm an author. I'm a writer. I'm sticking to it. That was a fabulous show, and it is, I would say, recommended viewing forever and ever. Amen. Have a very wonderful day. Thank you for being here.